Mummy and all the classic horror films that Universal did. And also, I would say, you know, the music, Frank Skinner and Hans Dave Salter and oh God, I should have written this down. Charles Previn. The score is so great in this film. It's so much a part of the Wolfman. You hear that music and it just says Wolfman. As I'm sure a lot of you probably know, a lot of people that come to these things know these films quite well. You know, the film was made in 1941. It wasn't the first time they decided to make a film called The Wolfman. Actually, shortly after Frankenstein, Robert Florey wrote a screenplay called The Wolfman, and it was going to star Boris Karloff as the Wolfman. And Boris ended up going into a lot of other films, and it kind of got shelved, and eventually, in the mid-30s, sometimes they did a film called Werewolf of London, which is also a really great film. It was the first werewolf film that Universal did. And it also, at one point, was going to star Boris Karloff, and Bela Lugosi is the other werewolf, and ended up becoming Henry Hall. In a makeup that's a much more subtle makeup than the makeup that's on Lon Chaney Jr., but Jack Pierce originally designed basically the same makeup. There's a still that exists of, when I first saw it, they said it was a still of Karloff in the makeup for the original Wolfman, which then it turned out to be later a makeup test for Werewolf of London. It looked very much like Lon Chaney Jr. looks in this film. Henry Hall decided it was too much and wanted to see more of his face, and I think also didn't really want to sit in a makeup chair for the hours that it takes. So Jack did a very different makeup, which I still think is a very cool makeup. But like I said, the makeup is what's the star of this movie to me. You know, and it's not, you know, Chaney Jr., who plays Larry Talbot, who becomes the Wolfman, you know, who is outstanding in this movie, and this is, he has the unique distinction of being the only man to play the Wolfman in the Universal films, but also he played all of the classic characters. He played Frankenstein's monster, he played Dracula and Son of Dracula, he played the Mummy. Karloff or Lugosi can't say that, you know, but this was Chaney's baby, and this is the movie that I know him for, even though I think he's really great in Mice and Men, which he did before this, and established that great character of Lenny, which I didn't realize until I saw the Warner Brother cartoons with the George and Lenny. He's like, "Tell me about the rabbits, George." And I always thought that was a Warner Brothers thing until I saw Mice and Men, and I went, "Yeah, Lon Chaney's copying that cartoon." But Chaney's great in this film, you know, and you really have the sympathy for poor Larry Talbot, who was bitten by Bela Lugosi, who turns into a werewolf, and as Maria Uspinskaya says in the film, whoever is bitten by a werewolf and lives becomes a werewolf himself. You know. Kurt Siodmak, who wrote the script, actually, I mean, so much of what I thought was like myth and legend and, like, you know, a history of werewolves, a lot of it actually was made up by Kurt Siodmak for this film. You know, he studied the werewolf legends, and there's been, you know, I think every culture in history for, you know, time began has, you know, stories of men turning into animals or animals turning into men or whatever. But you know, Kurt created a lot of the myths, you know, a lot of the silver bullets, you know, and all these things that he put together in this nice little mix for this great script, and I'm really excited. I was going to say to see it on the big screen. Like it's bigger than my TV. It's not the Chinese.